You may begin to wonder, even now, what it might feel like to forget how you used to feel, about being unsure, about being shy, about the old identity of, I don't know what to say, slowly, gently dissolving as something deeper awakens. While part of you remembers what it's like to avoid eye contact, to withdraw, to stay still and silent, another part of you, perhaps even now, is remembering that those were strategies, weren't they? Beautifully designed strategies, crafted not to fail but to protect, to pause, to hold you in safety, before you were ready to rise. Isn't it fascinating how those protections can become prisons? Because when you're avoiding discomfort, you're practicing the skill of avoidance. And what you practice, you get better at. So just imagine what happens now when you begin to practice connection instead. When you begin to embody the truth, social skills, they're just patterns, and patterns can shift. And speaking of shifts, have you ever noticed just the act of breathing differently, standing differently, feeling differently, creates a new reality? You see, when someone believes I'm socially awkward, they act accordingly. But beliefs, they're not facts. Beliefs are decisions made long ago, under outdated conditions that no longer apply. So what happens when you update the code? When you install something deeper, something stronger, something more you? Let's consider a person, perhaps someone much like you, who used to fear social interaction, but whispered instead of spoke, who waited to be noticed and wondered why no one saw them. Then something changed. Maybe it was a spark, maybe it was a sentence, or a moment of laughter, or a mirror glance that said, I'm enough. And suddenly, subtly, everything shifted. The same room felt brighter. The same people felt safer. The same voice stronger. That person didn't learn social skills. They remembered who they were before forgetting. They released the belief that perfection is the price of connection. They embodied the truth that authenticity is attractive. The presence is power. And every step forward, no matter how small, was a celebration. And the more they moved forward, the more they noticed something curious. That others smiled more often. The people leaned in. The laughter came easier. And conversations became magnetic. So you might find yourself wondering, is this transformation slow, or already unfolding now? Because right now, as these words sink deeper, your unconscious mind may already begin to recode your strategies, swapping hesitation with humour, replacing avoidance with presence, embedding the belief that you're always growing, always becoming, always evolving. So let me ask you something strange. If the past was practice, and practice makes permanent, what happens when you practice confidence? What happens when your new default is curiosity? What happens when you speak and people listen? Not because your words are perfect, because your energy is powerful. What happens when your presence makes people feel seen? Because that is influence. You see, shy people, they aren't broken. They're just rehearsing a different role. A role of silence, of caution, of containment. But now you're rehearsing something new, something electric. Your certainty becomes their certainty. Your smile unlocks their comfort. Your truth gives them permission to be real. You don't even need to try anymore, do you? Because the more you let go, the more you show up. The more you show up, the more others open up to you. And every part of your mind is already learning, already rehearsing, already rewriting the code. In ways that are elegant, effortless, and energizing. Isn't it strange how, the less you force connection, the more connection finds you. The less you plan your words, the more your truth flows naturally. The less you need to be perfect, the more they love who you are. Because who you are now is enough. Let that sink in. Feel it in your spine, in your voice, in your future. See it reflected in every eye you meet. Hear it in laughter you inspire. Sense it in the strength that you project, the comfort you carry. And the beauty is, this isn't something you do, it's something you are. A social genius, not because you studied techniques, though you've absorbed many, because you've learned to be you, unfiltered, unafraid, unstoppable. Perhaps the world needs more of that, more of you. The version who believes every moment is an opportunity to connect. Every challenge is a cue to grow. Every breath is a signal to relax, smile, and radiate confidence. And you can begin to trust that now. Even the old doubts, those whispers of not good enough, now become fuel. They remind you of how far you've come, how deeply you've grown, and how magnetic you truly are, when you remember to forget who you are supposed to be, and simply embody who you already are. So go ahead. Be the mystery that draws them in, the clarity that calms them, the warmth that awakens trust, the presence that inspires follow-through. Let every cell of your being carry this truth. You're never socially awkward. You're just waiting for the moment to become unforgettable. That moment is now.